Well, I wrote The Placebo because I started becoming fascinated with the idea that you can give someone a sugar pill, a saline injection, or perform some false surgery or treatment, and a certain percentage of those people will accept, believe, and surrender to the thought that they're getting the actual substance or treatment, and they begin to program their autonomic nervous system to make the exact pharmacy of chemicals equal to the substance that they think they're taking. Now think about this. The latest research in epigenetics says that it's the environment that signals the gene. Genes are like Christmas tree lights. They're turning on and off all the time. Genes make proteins, and proteins are responsible for the structure and function of your body. The expression of proteins is the expression of life. But if you're interpreting your environment the same way every single day, you're thinking the same thoughts, demonstrating the same behaviors, living by the same emotions, you keep the same genes on and the other genes off. Throw in the hormones of stress, which really downregulates genes to create disease. Then the question is, if the environment signals the gene, and the end product of an experience in your environment is called an emotion, if you live by the same emotions every single day, your body's believing it's in the same past environmental experience over and over again, and now you're headed for a genetic destiny. So then, can you signal the gene ahead of the environment? And the answer is absolutely yes. Because when you begin to embrace an elevated emotion and you combine it with a clear intention, and you're totally in the present moment, your brain and body don't know the difference between what's going on out there and what's going on in here. Your body believes it's in some experience in the external environment that's producing that emotion. And all of a sudden, the stronger the emotion you feel from an inward process, the more you pay attention to the thought or the image in your mind, you're creating a long-term memory. And all of a sudden now, you begin to downregulate the gene for disease, and you begin to upregulate the gene for health, and that gene begins to make a new protein, and that protein begins to make a new hormone or a new chemical or an expression of something, a new chemical that is going to begin to affect other systems in the body. So that could happen in our event, but it could be a person who it took them 2 years to do it.
Right.
But the evidence suggests that acute conditions, our medicine is so great for acute conditions. You break your arm, you have appendicitis, you're not going to go to an acupuncturist, you're going to get immediate care. Chronic conditions require a lifestyle change, which means you have to start making different choices. You got to start examining the way you live your life and the choices you make and the thoughts you think and how you manage your emotions. And so the beauty behind all of this is that just like an infection spreads amongst the community and creates disease, once people start breaking through and they wrap their mind around this, health and wellness can be as infectious as disease, and we're seeing it happen. And as I said, it's not for everybody. I mean, because after 8,500 brain scans, I can tell you that you and I are at our absolute best when we get beyond ourselves. And getting beyond yourself is the work. So a physician then who sees a person make great strides because they're managing their emotions, that they're paying attention to their thoughts, they're making better choices, they're not in a self-destructive pattern. Now physicians a lot of them become my colleagues and saying, whatever you're doing, keep doing it because it's making our job easier. So the drug that they administer sometimes doesn't heal the disease. It really helps the person maintain a certain quality of life or health, maybe. But we're talking about your nervous system becoming the greatest pharmacist in the world, because when you begin to realize that you can make your own pharmacy of chemicals equal to any drug that you take, just by changing how you think and feel, wow, the person all of a sudden becomes empowered, and our students are doing it. So, well, I wrote The Placebo because I started becoming fascinated with the idea that you can give someone a sugar pill, a saline injection, or perform some false surgery or treatment, and a certain percentage of those people will accept, believe, and surrender to the thought that they're getting the actual substance or treatment, and they begin to program their autonomic nervous system to make the exact pharmacy of chemicals equal to the substance that they think they're taking. So then it begs the question, is it the inert placebo that's doing the healing, or is it the body's innate capacity to heal by thought alone? Because that pill is a symbol of possibility. All it is a symbol. The doctor says, this is a great new drug that's going to help with depression, and the person begins to think about the idea that they could get better. They're selecting a new potential in the quantum field. And then all of a sudden, a certain percentage of those people will get enthusiastic and theos, filled with God, inspired, optimistic. They start changing their emotional state. They're combining a clear intention with an elevated emotion, and they're changing their state of being. And all of a sudden now, I began to realize, do you need the sugar pill? Do you need the saline injection? Or can you teach a person, instead of putting their faith and belief in something exogenous outside of them, that would do the healing, to change their state of being? Can they just select a new potential in the quantum field, instead of focusing on a known, focus on an unknown, and revisit that unknown every single day until it becomes a known? And all of a sudden, you'll see people's depression go away, their anxiety go away, and they're not using the placebo any longer. They're healing by changing their internal states. And so that's when we started seeing those changes taking place. Before I wrote the placebo, it was a landslide. So that's when I started measuring, doing all the brain scans and the HRV monitors and the genetic tests and the immune system tests and the telomere tests, because we now know that it's possible. And so a person doesn't need the exogenous or external substance. They can move into a state of being without it. So I thought, once I understood the mechanics of the placebo, I could teach this process even better. And in fact, you can. You can't do a study right now, any drug-related study, without having a triple-blind placebo test. And placebos, just so you know, they range from working anywhere from 10% to 100%. Imagine that. So in a depression study, as an example, 83% or 81% of the people in a depression study that are given a placebo heal as well as the people that are given the actual antidepressants. Now, there's brain scans to show changes in their brain before and after. It means then they're making their own pharmacy of antidepressants by thought alone. And it took them 6 weeks, 8 weeks of taking that placebo every single day. Now, this is an important point, because most people think, oh, I did the exercise or the meditation once and my conditions should go away. Well, even in the depression study, 6 to 8 weeks of taking a placebo. Every time they take the placebo, they remind themselves that they're going to get better. They change their emotional state. Sooner or later, that becomes their new state of being. May take people 6 to 8 weeks of doing the work every single day, where they start noticing significant changes in their health. So I'm a pragmatist. And if you're telling me something that's science-based, the question that I ask is, how am I going to apply this to my life? So as people begin to gather this information, I now know that every time we learn something new, we're making new connections in our brain. That's what learning is. If people can understand the understanding of the new sciences, quantum physics, neuroscience, neuroendocrinology, psychoneuroimmunology, the mind-body connection, epigenetics, all of those sciences point the finger at possibility. And if I can instruct them in a way that they begin to piece together the model, when I feel like we're at a certain point where the comprehension is right, if they can turn to the person next to them and explain it in the workshop. If they can't explain it, it's not wired in their brain. But if they can explain it, they're beginning to install the neurological hardware in their brain in preparation for an experience. So then if I can set up the conditions in the environment and give them the proper instruction and allow them to surrender enough into the present moment, a certain percentage of those people are going to get their behaviors to match their intentions. And when they do, they're going to experience something new. And the experience then is going to produce an emotion, and they're going to feel unlimited, and they're going to feel whole, they're going to feel invincible. And the moment they feel that emotion, now they're teaching their body chemically to understand what their mind is intellectually understood. Now they're embodying the truth of that philosophy by initiating it, which means if you've done it once, you should be able to do it again. And if you can repeat the experience over and over again, you'll begin to neurochemically condition your mind and body to begin to work as one. When you've done something so many times that your body now knows how to do it as well as your mind, now you're mastering that philosophy, and now you're in a new state of being. So we have to go from philosopher to initiate to master, from thinking to doing to being. And once you get to that point where it now becomes innate in you, becomes who you are, then you've memorized an internal state independent of the conditions in your external environment. That's when you begin to master your environment or master your life.
Wow, what a great video! I hope you enjoyed this amazing interview with Dr. Joe Dispenza. We are continuing with our daily practice of completing the inspiring quotes. You need to complete the quote with the words that are missing, and if you can do it first and give us the right answer, you are the daily winner. In the previous video we were looking for 2 words of Joe Dispenza's quote. The quote goes like this: just as thoughts are the language of the brain, feelings are the language of... The correct answer is the body. So, just as thoughts are the language of the brain, feelings are the language of the body. Congratulations to everyone with the correct answer. We only had few wrong answers. Since I know you love Joe Dispenza, today's quote is from Joe Dispenza also. We are looking for 2 words. So the quote goes like this: if you want to change a belief or perception, you have to first change your state. Write your answers in the comments below the video and tell me if you love this video and our way of ending the videos. If you like this video, give your thumbs up and share it with your friends. Help me make this video more popular by sharing it. Even if you're not sure what the right answer is, try and guess. The first one with the correct answer is the winner. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button and don't miss any of new videos and new challenges. If you really like what we do here and want to support us, you can join our channel and our community for a symbolic fee and gain many other additional features. You can do that by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button, or you can click on the link in the description of this video. Stay good and have a great day!